As Muslims across the globe prepare for the holy month of Ramadan, the period of ritual fasting as commanded by the Almighty, just after featured Imam Nojeem Jimoh, Chief Imam of Lighthouse Muslim Community, Lekki, on how the Muslim Ummah should prepare themselves for the year 2024 Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Nojeem. It is great to have you on with us at our program.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome, sir. Let me start the conversation with Sahih al-Bukhari hadith, which says that fasting is a shield. So the one who fasts should avoid obscene speech and ignorant behavior. Could you share with us steps to get our heart and soul ready for the month?
Allah says in His book, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba. Who have believed, fasting has been prescribed for you as it was prescribed for those who came before you, la'allakum tattaqun, so that you may attain piety. So, in reality, what we are preparing for is a means of attaining piety. Ramadan being the vehicle which conveys us towards that piety. In terms of practical steps to make to be prepared for Ramadan, number one, if any of us is owing days of fasts from last year, this is the time to start to pay it back. Most of our ladies, our sisters, are owing fast from the previous year, right, due to their monthly cycles. Now is the time to start paying it back, maybe one a week, two a week, depending how many of such they are owing. It is possible that some of the males are owing Ramadan as well, perhaps due to illness, perhaps due to traveling. This is the time to start paying it back. That then gets you in the mood for Ramadan. Secondly, there is a lot of physical exercise in Ramadan, i.e., by way of the Taraweeh that we all do. And that people join the masajid where they do proper Taraweeh, not those who do 5 minutes of Taraweeh and they are gone. You would find that a lot of people get tired in the course of this because it is not something that people are used to, right? So part of the preparation for Ramadan that is coming, and that the month is a month of devotion. So arrange our timetables in a manner that we will be able to give more time to ibadat and less time to worldly affairs. I think these are 3 practical steps by which we can get ourselves ready for Ramadan.
Indeed, Imam Nojeem, Ramadan is a month of fasting, that's jam-packed with blessings and unlimited rewards for this life and hereafter. You're talking about what should be our priority for Ramadan. It is written in the Quran that praying 5 times daily is a must for Muslim believers. How can we balance work and salat?
It says in his book, Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. That salat, the 5 daily prayers, which is obligatory upon the Muslims, has been prescribed at prescribed time, or has been ordained times, meaning that there are specified times for which we have to preach of the salat. I do acknowledge that depending what you do, it can be tougher for some people than others. Indeed, I remember a neighbor of mine, a young neighbor of mine who worked in the bank, once told me that for 7 years, he did not observe a single Juma because he was working on the counter And then there was no way you could tell them he was going away for 1 hour. And then that was first. But there are practical steps that I say to people, especially young people who are in senior positions who don't tend to have these issues. But as for young people, I tell them some very basic practical things to do. For instance, Dhuhr is coming. You are at work. Your work is not one by which who must be there at that point in time. I will say to them, get your wudu ready before the time of that salat. So to
Right.
those who work in an environment which is not salat friendly, then I say do the compulsory one, 4 rakah, jump back at your desk. Then you have fulfilled your obligation. If there are Muslims, a few of you in the organization, and you know that your work is salat unfriendly, then don't organize yourself into a group going to pray at the same time, because that will mean that many of you are leaving your posts at the same time. So let each person, yeah, the ideal is you will pray as a jama'ah, but then before the time of Ramadan, before the time of Salat, once it is Salat, you found a small corner, your Salat, 5-7 minutes, go back to your desk. And I think that may work. I hope it does work.
Could you share with us the importance and benefits of closeness to the Quran during the period and after?
Allah says in his book, Shahru Ramadan, Alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan linnas. Say the month of Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed, and then a guide or guidance for mankind. Ramadan is the month of the Quran. When we attend the Taraweeh prayer, many masajid, they complete the entire Quran. If anyone is able to attend all 29 or 30, they will find that they have actually completed the Quran as well, even though listening to someone doing this as well. And Allah describes it as hudan for mankind. It will be guidance only when we reflect on the meanings. So not just reading the Quran, but reading the meanings and reflecting on them as well. And there are so many ways by which we can connect with the Quran. You can connect with it as a book of prayer. There are so many prayers in the Quran. You find so many Rabbana this, Rabbana that, Rabbana this. That is Quran as a book of prayer. There is a lot of counseling in the Quran, especially when things are down for you. And all of us will go through periods in which things are on the downwards trend for us. Allah say, "Asiban nasu an yutraku an yaqulu amanna." That do the people think that we will not try them just because they said they have believed? وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Allah is saying that those who preceded you, who are better than you in Iman, we tried them. Allah says it is during trial that we are able to determine to be a believer, right? So you connect with the Quran as a book of prayers, connect with the Quran as a book of guidance or counseling. Stories of many prophets are told in the Quran, Yusuf, Musa, alayhi salatu wassalam, and many others as well. Nabi Isa, Jesus Christ, alayhi salatu wassalam. And with each of these stories, you will find a connection as well. Ayub, Allah talks about him with reference to his illness. He had a debilitating illness. If somebody is going through an illness, he can connect with the story of Ayub, alayhi salatu wassalam, and that will serve as consolation. So it is very important that we connect with the Quran before, during, and after Ramadan.
Thank you very much, Imam Nojeem, for your advice on how important and closeness to someone to read the Holy Quran during the month and even after Ramadan. So, as Ramadan is a month for all, can you share with us what are the rewards and punishment for Muslims who are healthy, who are fit and healthy, but do not see fasting as anything to them.
Okay. Now, the Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he says, Buniyya al-Islam ala khams, shahadati an la ilaha illallah, wa iqami salah, wa ita'i zakah, wa sawmi Ramadan, wa hajjil bayt. That the pillars of Islam are 5. And then starting with the shahada, the salat, the fast, the zakat, the fasting, and going on hajj. And any Muslims who chooses consciously, deliberately to ignore any of these facts, any of these aspects of Islam, then his return to his Lord may not be a very good one, because you find Muslims who don't pray and they fast in Ramadan, but the first act of ibadah they are going to ask about when Qiyamah will come upon death is your salat. Once you don't have returns on your salat, there is no going further. The person is almost bound for Jahannam. May Allah save us from this. So, all the 5 pillars of Islam are of equal importance. Fasting, if you are ill, you are excused.
Yes.
But salat, there is no circumstances in which we are excused from salat. Even in illness, we have to do it lying down, right? So a Muslim has to strive. And then the Prophet said, Inna bayna rajuli wa likufri wa shirki tariki salah, that which separates a man from kufru, disbelief, or shirk, that is idolatry, is the abandonment of salat. Meaning that he who abandons salat is either a mushrik or is a kafir. That is how serious it is.
Thank you so much for coming on the Trust Factor Higher Learning Series program. It was nice having this conversation with you. Have a great day, sir.
Thanks for inviting me.